GTA San Andreas is one of my favorite video games of all time. It was the first game I ever bought a physical copy of. The year was 2009. Little NoClick was getting tired of playing through the same games every single day. He wanted to experience something new, but not too different from the games he grew up playing. Back then, all of my friends were talking about games such as Counter-Strike and Call of Duty. I ended up playing Counter-Strike 1.6 for hundreds if not even thousands of hours, and while it was fun, it suffered from a major problem that was way too difficult to overlook. There was no story. It was just two teams shooting at each other. This was a big problem, at least at the time. I grew up playing Halo Combat Evolved and a bit of Half-Life 2, which means that in my eyes, all games had to have some kind of story to be memorable and fun to play through. Just like in Counter-Strike 1.6, however, it was the gameplay that kept bringing me back. The story was just the cherry on top, but man, that cherry was delicious. In fact, it was so delicious I could not even be bothered to taste any cake without that specific cherry on top of it. I was a cherry addict. My introduction to GTA San Andreas was a bit weird. Nobody at my school was talking about games that fit my cherry criteria. So there was only one person left who could help me, my cousin, who introduced me to GTA 3 about a year prior. And so we ended up going to a gaming section in a random shop. Back then, there were only two ways to get a game. Either go to a shop and buy it, or use some unconventional methods. We were kids, we had no money. We only went to the shop to see what to get using the unconventional methods. My rules for choosing a game were simple. If the cover art had no awesome, badass looking character, or if it did not make me intrigued, I would not even look at it. Having already played through GTA 3 and knowing what the GTA logo looked like, it was the first cover art I noticed on the shelf, and so I picked it up, just to see what an original copy looked like. But something else caught my attention. Next to it, there were two more games, GTA Vice City and GTA San Andreas. More GTAs to play? Hell yeah! I was in heaven. The one that caught my eyes first was GTA San Andreas. Just look at the cover art. Gangsters, cars, girls, guns, helicopters. It's perfect. The Vice City one was also good, but man, this was something else. The decision had been made. I went home and asked my father to call his pirate friend to get GTA San Andreas for me. And there I was a couple of days later holding this stupid looking CD in my hands, ready to download the game and finally start having some fun. And then this popped up. No CD/DVD drive found. Turns out the man who used the unconventional methods to get me the game did not do it properly. My PC was still asking me to insert a CD or a DVD. Well, now what? My parents just had internet installed at home, so Kid NoClick decided to search for a solution on his own. Now, would you care to guess what he searched for? It was this. And guess what he did? He pressed on the first link and a pop-up scam appeared on the screen. So to get rid of the virus, Kid NoClick shut down the PC using the power button and then proceeded not to turn it back on for almost a week before realizing there was no virus on the PC. After begging my mother to buy me a game about running people over with a car, she finally gave in and gave me the money to go get it. She was busy on that day, meaning Kid NoClick had to go to the store on his own. No idea why the people working there allowed me, a kid, to buy a game like this, but hey, it was the best day of my life, so who cares? The rest is pretty much history. For the next couple of years, I would spend my time playing this game almost every single day. I have to warn you that I have no idea what this video is supposed to be. My goal is to share some funny personal stories, talk about most of the things that the game has to offer, and show how something can be perfect without being flawless. What do you mean perfect but not flawless, NoClick? That makes no sense. If that is what you are thinking right now, then I hope this video will help you understand what I mean. So, where do we even start? It's kind of difficult to find a starting point because each person who played through the game probably had a whole different experience. Maybe you are the kind of person who just skips the opening cutscene and starts beating up NPCs on the street. Or the kind of person who only cares about the story. Or maybe you are the guy who enables a bunch of cheat codes and turns the game into an apocalypse. Or how about just downloading having a 100% completion save file. I mean, that's also fun. Wait a minute, single player is kind of boring. Let me join multiplayer and start having fun with my friends. But hold on, what if you do not have any friends? No worries. The multiplayer has a chat box. Just make some. But what kind of server should it be? I mean, look at the variety. Stunting, role-playing, gang wars, racing. Wait, I know what to talk about. You might have noticed already, but this version of GTA San Andreas is not the Steam version. That version of it looks and plays like crap. Matter of fact, I had to download a mod pack that brings back the original version that everyone used to play back in the day just because of how bad this port is. Playing the Steam version almost made me cancel the entire video. I had lots of motivation to write the script, but no motivation to play the game for longer than 10 minutes, and I did not know why. This is why. The PC port sucks the life out of everything. How did they manage to screw it up so badly? And you think this is something? You think this is bad? This chicanery? They've done worse. That definitive edition. You mean to tell me that a remaster just happens to look like that? They made it look like that. What a sick joke. Alright, I want to start with the characters. And what better way to do that than to watch the hidden GTA San Andreas introduction short film. Instead of boring all new players with a 20-minute long opening cutscene, Rockstar Games decided to make it completely optional. If you have never heard of it, it's probably because it was only available on the PlayStation 2 Special Edition version of the game. But it has also been available on YouTube since 2012. Some of the characters introduced here will not be relevant until you are halfway through the game, so instead of talking about this scene by scene, I am only going to talk about what matters right now. But wait, we have a problem. The short film is copyrighted. Why would they not copyright a 20-year-old 360p short film made in a video game? Of course. Let's monetize everything. This means the only way to explain what is going on is by using images, but that's okay. This is not going to last too long. That's what she said. The opening cutscene features two police officers, Tempany and Pulaski. Tempany is head of the police crash unit. Pulaski is his bitch. Both of them are extremely corrupt. Tempany is worried about a police officer named Pendlebury, who is threatening to expose the illegal stuff they have been doing. The Ballas then get introduced. This is one of the main enemy factions in the game. They seem to be planning an ambush on a gang called Grove Street. Moving on, we are introduced to Big Smoke and Ryder, two Grove Street gang members who seem to be having a random conversation about being in charge of their destiny. This might seem unimportant right now, but it will play a big role later on. We later see Big Smoke outside, playing dice with some of the Grove Street gang members. Two of these members are Sweet and Jeffrey. Sweet seems to be one of the OGs. Jeffrey is just Jeffrey, a wannabe rapper who is not taken seriously by anyone. He tries calling himself OG Loke, but yeah, nobody cares. Big Smoke seems to be worried about Grove Street losing control over the streets and tries talking Sweet into a big money-making opportunity, but Sweet is not interested. Big Smoke asks him if he has heard from CJ lately. CJ is his brother, who left San Andreas after his other brother, Brian, was killed in an accident. Sweet says that he and CJ are not talking and starts talking crap about him for leaving everything behind and starting a new life. We then get to see what this new life is like. Turns out CJ moved to Liberty City. That's right, the main location of GTA 3. I remember watching this and being like, what? Is that the place from GTA 3? Wow! CJ's life is not as good as Sweet thinks it is. He does what every single GTA protagonist does. Grand Theft Auto, robs and hits random NPCs in the face, and yeah, the usual stuff. He steals a car for a guy named Joey, who, spoiler alert, is this guy from GTA 3. If you like GTA 3 and never played through GTA San Andreas, which is very unlikely, then you are going to love how the games connect with each other, but more to that later. The next scene shows Officer Tempany casually threatening someone over the phone. Following that, we get a quick scene of a green car called the Saber pulling out of a garage and then slowly driving down the street. We see it again later, casually driving in an alleyway and then on the street again. Tempany and Pulaski are seen picking up Officer Jimmy Hernandez, who joined Crash to help put an end to gang crime. This guy is not a bad guy. He starts talking about a domestic violence case that he worked on, saying he was in a situation where he had to decide whether to let a man walk free after beating his drug addict wife or put the man in jail and leave the kids with a drug addicted mother who did not feed them. Tempany and Pulaski are not impressed, calling him weak and easily confused for caring too much about a stupid case. They tell him that to make it, he needs to do whatever it takes, even if it means letting bad guys get away with it sometimes. He agrees but still gets kicked out of the car. Skipping ahead, we see Pulaski and Tempany beating up a police officer. That officer is none other than Officer Pendlebury, the guy who was threatening to expose them. Tempany asks the new guy, Officer Jimmy Hernandez, to shoot Pendlebury. He refuses, so Tempany threatens to kill him too if he does not comply. And unfortunately that makes him pull the trigger. The last scene shows the Green Saber again. This time, we see a member of the Ballas opening fire on a house before quickly driving away. Their target was Sweet, but instead of getting him, they got his mother. Sweet and his sister, Kendall, are devastated. The short movie ends with Sweet calling CJ and telling him about the incident, and this connects perfectly to the opening cutscene of the main game. We see CJ at the Los Santos airport. He gets into a taxi and it drives off. And it's these guys. CJ gets arrested, gets his money taken away, and then gets put into the back of a police car.
This is a weapon, Officer Pulaski, that was used to gun down a police officer not 10 minutes ago.
That ain't my gun.
So yeah, they are blackmailing CJ for shooting Pendlebury, even though he had nothing to do with it. CJ gets thrown into Ballas territory and proceeds to say the funny voice line.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
The game insists you take the bike, but this is called Grand Theft Auto. The first thing most people do is steal a car. And man, I've got to say, the art style is really beautiful. It perfectly encapsulates the 90s feeling of Los Angeles. Not that I was there or anything, but I did watch a couple of YouTube videos from that era, so I know what I'm talking about, obviously. CJ gets home, does the funny meme pose, gets PTSD looking at a photo of his mother, and then sits down.
You picked the wrong house, fool!
Hey, hey!
It's Big Smoke, who just happens to be standing in CJ's kitchen. Did you notice he accidentally broke the photo of CJ's mother when throwing the baseball bat on the table? Why was he standing in CJ's kitchen instead of being on his way to the funeral? Did he know that CJ would be coming back? Yeah, whatever. This is probably a way for the developers to get them to go to the funeral together. It probably does not mean anything. The Johnson's family situation is not great. They lost their brother Brian, their mother, and most of the OG Grove Street members are gone. They went from being a respected gang to almost not even existing anymore. Anyway, the Ballas try attacking them after the funeral. Seriously? You could not have waited a bit longer? And so, the first mission begins. You and the homies get on bikes and start pedaling away. Dealing with the Ballas car following you could be a bit frustrating if you have no idea how to use the bike, but I think that's the point. The developers want you to feel vulnerable to build up anger against the main enemy faction of the game. This mission's main goal is to give the player a tour of Los Santos and introduce them to some of the main characters, and I believe it does that pretty well. Everyone makes it out alive. It's time to take a break from the game's story to share a personal story about this house. GTA San Andreas has some really popular myths and legends, like for example Bigfoot, Leatherface, UFOs, Slenderman, and CJ's mom's ghost. I remember being on the internet and accidentally finding out about these myths and legends, and let me tell you, Kid NoClick was terrified. There was a video of a ghost walking down these stairs. Looking back at it now, it was obviously a mod, but back then I had no idea. People who have played through the game probably see this house and think, ah, this is giving me nostalgia. But when I see it, all I can think about is the amount of times I had to quickly run in with my eyes closed, save the game, and then quickly run out just to avoid the ghost of CJ's mother. Even now, knowing it was a mod, I still feel uncomfortable being here. But wait, it gets worse. There's this mirror upstairs. All I could think about was the Bloody Mary videos that were also popular back in the day, where someone would say her name 3 times and then the ghost would appear behind them, in the mirror. Combine this with the fact that I was scared about there being a ghost in the house, and you get the situation of Kid NoClick not going upstairs for probably like 10 years. Let's move on to the second mission, Ryder. In this mission we get to spend some time with Ryder. Duh. He says CJ has to go to the barber because he has a yee-ass haircut, and we do just that. I decided to give CJ a beard. Where did the beard come from? No idea, but I swear it was not there 5 seconds ago. Ryder is still not happy. He wants CJ to go get something to eat. Quick fun fact, if you eat too much, CJ will vomit.
Give up the money. This a raid.
Ryder, not this again.
It ain't me, fool.
No one else is that small. I feel sorry for your dad.
Jesus, oh my god. Why would you try stealing from the same place multiple times, Ryder? Oh, but no click, come on, what could they do about it? Bring a shotgun to work? Exactly. CJ and Ryder start running away. This mission makes both of them look extremely goofy, and honestly, I kind of like it. Grove Street is so weak that even a pizza boy can outsmart them. Unfortunately for him, he cannot outsmart me. Never bring a shotgun to a fist fight. It's time for CJ and Sweet to make their presence known by spraying some graffiti. I find it kind of weird that Big Smoke is present in the cutscene but does not join us during the actual mission. What happens next is very straight to the point. You drive to checkpoints, spray graffiti and then leave. There are 100 graffiti spread across the city. Hey, that rhymed. Chicka 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 slam shady. This mission only requires you to do 6, but there's a big reward for doing all of them in your own free time. The Grove gang members will have deagles and SMGs, and this can give you a very big unfair advantage over the enemies. Not only that, but some OP weapons appear in your kitchen and are available to be picked up at any time. This is way too OP, so I'm not gonna do it. Who am I kidding? The reason why I'm not doing it is because I am lazy. You know what? Here is a distraction. Boob physics. Forget everything.
Carl, it's Officer Hernandez.
Who?
Officer Hernandez.
What the hell you want?
I've got a message from Officer Tenpenny. Don't try and leave town.
Huh, that sounds like the perfect reason to try and leave town. You can stop a man with a car, but you cannot stop a man with a dream. This is why I love GTA games. You are not supposed to be here yet, and the developers try really hard to make you not want to stay here by giving you a 4-star wanted level, but they never stop the player using a stupid invisible wall. Instead, they let you do whatever you want, but give you some consequences for it. And just so you know, the paint spray does not work, so it means you're always gonna have 4 stars if you are out of the city, which I think is pretty fair. Also check out this stunt. Sweet is angry that everyone is high and sends CJ to find a solution to this problem. What do I look like? Rehabilitation Johnson? Big Smoke does not seem to like this idea, calling Sweet naive and implying that taking the crack away from the homies would result in everyone having low motivation. His name is literally Big Smoke. Of course, he wants everyone to smoke. CJ and Ryder go looking for some of the old Grove Street members. They are not interested in helping out, which means that CJ and Ryder must do this on their own. Their plan is to beat the crap out of every single crack dealer in the hood. First it's a random guy on the street, then some ballas in a crack house. Next we have the classic, I'll have 2 number 9s, a number 9 large, number mission. But before that, have a listen to this interesting conversation.
How moms get killed? We gotta talk about it.
We all gotta talk about it. They was going for Sweet.
How you supposed to know that? You know what people are like.
Some people say they saw a Green Saber doing the work, then speeding away.
Yeah, but people like to talk, don't they?
Big Smoke sounds very defensive when asked about CJ's mother. Small details like these are not gonna be picked up by anyone during the first playthrough of the game, but if you choose to replay it, you will notice that everything he does and say does not benefit Grove Street in any way. The boys get ambushed by the ballas again, and instead of shooting, Big Smoke continues eating. Again, this is another sign that something could be wrong. We drive Big Smoke home and find out he moved out of Grove Street. Huh, why would he do that? Also, take a look at how much attention to detail there is in the game. If there is a fire, the fire department sends a fire truck to put it out. CJ then gets a phone call from Sweet, who tells him to go to the gym. Back in the day, I had no idea what Sweet was saying, but that did not stop me from spending what felt like hours just spamming the space button on the bench press so CJ could gain muscle. Who is skinny now, Sweet? This is one of the reasons why I believe that this game is a masterpiece. The fact that your character can gain muscle by going to the gym is insane considering this was released in 2004. Not only that, but if you end up getting way too many number 9s, CJ gets fat. When fat, he runs slower, talks with a much deeper voice, and the NPCs on the street make fun of him. The best thing about this is that some missions are fat-phobic. Absolutely based. On the opposite hand, being muscular not only makes you deal more damage when fighting NPCs, but almost every single lady NPC on the street will try hitting on you. Staying on the topic of character customization, it's possible to unlock new fighting styles like for example boxing, karate, and some other weird stuff. The player can turn CJ into whatever they want him to be by choosing the skills they want to be better at. If you like motorcycles, riding one for a long period of time will result in the motorcycle skill going up. up, which has gameplay benefits like being able to crash into walls without falling off the motorcycle. This works with many things in the game. The more you do something, the more benefits you get. Anyway, now that Grove Street is apparently back in business, their next objective is to find some weapons to defend themselves. Luckily, Big Smoke knows a guy. My favorite thing about this mission is the dialogue.
Hey! Who shot at me? What you kids want?
Hey, Pops! Hey, what's happening?
Aren't you Beverly Johnson's boy?
That's right.
Brian, say, ain't you dead?
No, Emmett. The other one, Carl.
I'm sorry about Beverly.
You shoot a bunch of glass bottles, a gas tank, Big Smoke gets tired after 5 seconds and that is it. This is meant to show the player that they can get pistol ammo from here, but yeah. Sweet calls CJ again, and he is not happy again, because this time, why is CJ not wearing any green colors? This is the outfit I came up with.
I could drive as well as CJ, man, I'm telling you. Yeah. Hey, homie, what's up?
This mission is straight to the point. All you have to do is kill some balas and then learn how to use a paint spray to get rid of the police. Something interesting happens. Big Smoke is finally seen shooting balas. Maybe there's nothing sus about him after all. But then again, why does he only have one voice line in the entire mission? And why does it sound like it was edited in?
Here, take this. Go get yourself some beers.
Was Big Smoke even supposed to be in the mission? We get to what might be one of the most nonsensical missions in the entire game. Sweet, who always complains about how Grove Street is not what it was, needs to be rescued from an attack after getting involved with a random NPC girl who happens to be from the Seville Boulevard families, who by the way are just Grove Street members except they are evil because they are selling drugs. So why would Sweet get involved with them? What is wrong with this guy? No wonder Grove Street is doing so bad. Sweet is stupid. By the way, this girl never shows up again. So what is the point? The gameplay is not bad. You get to shoot at moving enemies after learning how to use a pistol in the previous mission. After saving him, you get followed by a bunch of idiots. Instead of shooting at them or being thankful to CJ for saving his life, Sweet complains every single time you slightly crash the car.
Always crashing, CJ. Move it, CJ. I thought I taught you better than this.
Following that, the next mission starts off with Sweet arguing with his sister about her new boyfriend. What? Bro, can you be happy for once? Instead of handling this problem himself, he tells us to go follow her while he does nothing. The game decided it would not be the best idea to send the player go stalk his own sister, so instead of that, we go to a lowrider meeting where she's going to be. This guy gives us a lowrider and $500 for a paint job? I only have $1,100. What kind of idiot would I be to pay $500 for a From what I have heard, people seem to dislike this mission for being too difficult. What, is pressing a couple of buttons too difficult? Are you a baby? The best thing about this is the song playing in the background. I cannot play it because of copyright, but it's an absolute banger. Following that, we get to listen to what is perhaps the worst sound ever.
That shit was alright!
And get introduced to Caesar, Kendall's boyfriend. After Caesar defends CJ against some random dumbasses, they shake hands and become homies. If, let's say, Caesar and CJ did not get along, the game would have ended after Act 1, but more to this later. Caesar calls CJ and asks him if he wants to be a racist, and how could someone say no to that? Speaking of being a good racist, unfortunately I am not that great. Just watch this clip. It was then time to go visit Ryder, who is digging holes in his backyard looking for drugs. He says he knows a guy in the army who has a bunch of weapons we can steal. And unlike Sweet, who only knows how to talk but never does anything, Ryder joins us during the mission. The objective is to steal weapon crates from an old man's house without waking him up. It might sound simple, but some of the crates are very close to his bedroom and one of them is even inside the room. This might not seem too exciting on its own, but when you you mix it with other game mechanics that get introduced later on, it all makes perfect sense. In case you are not familiar with the multiplayer, two of the most popular server types are RPG and role-playing, and missions like this show exactly why that is the case. The world of GTA San Andreas feels believable, and some of the things you do during the missions feel very similar to role-playing, in a way. Yes, the mission is boring, it feels like work, but some people enjoy that, it's kind of relaxing. By the way, why is CJ wearing a GIMP mask? What is wrong with this guy? Completing this unlocks the ability to perform burglaries at night, and I had to try it out. What better place to steal from than Vinewood? Just look at the interior of this house, it's huge. That's what she said, okay. They won't ever notice that their TV, PlayStation, radio, second TV, and microwave are missing. Let's go back and see how much we get for all of these items. $720? I should have never trusted Hollywood. Or Vinewood, whatever. Going back to Ryder, it seems he watched a bit too much Breaking Bad and now wants to cook. Tenpenny shows up, asks Ryder for some of the drugs, and Ryder gives him some of it. Then, in what looks to be an out-of-character moment, Tenpenny gives us the location of a train carrying a bunch of weapon crates that Grove Street could use. Huh, why is he acting so nice? Who cares? It's free weapons, let's go get them. It turns out some Vagos, which happened to be one of our other rival gangs, already made it to the train. Then the Ballas show up. At this point it becomes very clear why Tenpenny gave us the train's location. He wanted everyone to fight over the weapons. That way, instead of dealing with these people himself, he lets them take each other out. Tenpenny might be evil, but he is also a genius. The train starts moving. CJ gets on it and starts throwing crates at Ryder. After stealing the crates, the LSPD shows up, so CJ magically changes the color of his car in 2 seconds to get rid of them.
Hey, Rod!
Yeah, CJ. Who has all the straps? Huh? The army. Let's go.
Yeah.
Go hit
Get that out my face.
Go hit
man.
the
Like,
wet.
Yeah, apparently we are stealing from the army now. This mission has to be one of the most overhated missions in the entire game. At first you need to shoot some National Guards, and then the game wants you to get into a forklift and collect 6 crates one by one. It's like stealing crates from that guy's house, except this time we are using a forklift and everyone is shooting at us. After doing that, we have to take the truck back to Emmett. I have no idea why people hate this mission so much. I mean, it's not like...
The women are so easy in this town.
Why would you die like that? Why would you... I take it back. This mission sucks. Fine, let's do it again. Yay, so fun. With that out of the way, we are done with Ryder's missions. Grove Street is finally starting to get back on its feet, all thanks to CJ and Ryder and Not Sweet. One of our friends got released from prison and needs to be picked up. It's Jeffrey, aka this guy. In case you skipped the introduction, which is a very bad thing to do because then my YouTube watch time would go down, Jeffrey is a wannabe rapper that nobody takes too seriously. After this scene, which apparently takes place a few weeks before the start of the game, Jeffrey started committing traffic violations and got put into prison for a couple of weeks. Yeah, traffic violations. What a gangster. During his prison time, a member of the Vagos gang made him drop the soap. He made him do the hard time. He went in for a minor offense and came out. Anyway, Jeffrey is not too happy about what happened and fears his reputation will be ruined if the guy he did the deed with starts telling others about the incident or incidents, so he wants CJ to drive to that guy's house to deal with him. Oh god. On the way there, he mentions landing an important job as a hygiene technician, which makes perfect sense. He is the kind of guy who knows exactly how to fix a dirty situation. The Vagos guy runs away on a motorcycle, so we start chasing after him. This chase is fun, but also frustrating because the guy refuses to die. Chicka Slim Shady. After giving us a tour of the city, he finally stops and Jeffrey finishes him. Oh god, wait a minute. Jeffrey then wants us to drive to a burger shot. Man, look at these prices. Everything on the menu is 69 cents. Except everything on the menu is actually 29 cents? Huh. Let's go inside and investigate. $2 for one meal? Let's go back to Big Smoke.
Move!
He says Tenpenny and Pulaski were in his house because they wanted to get some information from him, but he kept quiet. I don't know, man. You've been seeming sus lately. Smoke mentions that one of his cousins is visiting Los Santos and needs to be picked up, so we do that. Except wait a minute, there's no cousin. Big Smoke lied and dragged us into enemy territory just so he could get some crack from one of our main rival gangs. The Vagos are not that interested in selling anything to him, so he ends up hitting one of them with a baseball bat and the other guy starts running away. It's our job to dispose of him because Big Smoke is too fat to run for longer than 5 seconds. Never run away from a shotgun. Let's go check on Big Smoke again. These guys are at his place again. He says they mentioned something that could help Grove Street, but does not go into detail about what that could be. Instead, he just tells us to get in the car and drive to the train station. Another lie. We are not here to stop any deal. We are here to get rid of some Vagos. Someone off screen starts shooting at them, causing them to jump on a moving train, which leads to CJ and Big Smoke chasing them on a motorcycle. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna show you the meme because I completed the mission first try because I'm a really good player, but
all we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ.
did you know it's possible to steal a train, drive it to another city, and then even derail it?
What's happening, Smoke?
Chillin'? Wanna go for a ride?
Yeah, we grows, man.
That's what I'm talking about. That's my dog.
Hey, baby. Want company?
Mother, CJ, get in here!
All of a sudden we are fighting a bunch of Russians. Like, what is Big Smoke even doing at this point? First you must shoot some enemies on foot, then you get on a motorcycle, and then they start chasing after you in cars, motorcycles and trucks. Now listen, this is great, but the following cutscene is the goofiest cutscene in GTA's entire history. Why did everything explode? What made everything explode? Did Big Smoke just fart, or what happened? That is the end of Big Smoke's missions. It feels like we did nothing to benefit Grove Street.
Heavyweight! Yeah, buddy! Lightweight! Lightweight!
I decided to change my clothes again because fashion icon. It was then time to go visit the hygiene technician Jeffrey again, who in spite of what happened to him in prison, still wants to be a rapper and asks us to go steal a sound system for him from a beach party so he can start his career. To do that, CJ must first impress the lady who owns the sound system. What better way to do that than to start dancing like a big idiot? The sound girl is impressed by CJ's moves, so she lets him get into the van. He steals it and brings it to this random location.
Hey, it's OG Loc, homie, and I'ma kick a little something like this. Hey, yo, when I come through up in the place, it's like I...
sucks!
Damn! Hey, Carl, what up, man? I think I just might have found a ghostwriter. Mad Dog's rhyme book from his home in the hills. Mad Dog's rhyme book?
This guy is crazy. He wants us to steal the rhyme book of the most popular rapper in Los Santos. Mad Dog is so big, he even has a huge billboard promoting his latest album. It's the stupidest idea ever, but CJ accepts doing it. I really like stealth in video games, so sneaking into the mansion, silently taking out a couple of guards, and staying undetected is incredibly fun for me. The following contest is CJ versus a boxing bag. Who will win?
Ah!
Mad Dog keeps his cat pictures next to his golden records. Are we stealing from the right guy? The rhyme book happens to magically float in the middle of the studio, so we get it, and then the next objective is to escape the mansion without being seen. What I like about this is that while the game suggests the use of stealth, it never forces it. You can keep taking out the guards with a knife or a silencer, or you can switch things up and start giving everyone a taste of shotgun bullets. So I took my time, took out everyone quietly, and left the mansion without being noticed. That was fun. Let's go back to Jeffrey.
Oh!
You know what? Peace was never an option. Have some of this and some of this. God!
You been trying to avoid me?
No, sir.
Call in to the donut place in the middle of market. We need to talk.
Yeah, not right now. CJ and Jeffrey still have some unfinished business to take care of.
Mad Dog's manager is putting on me real heavy, man. Heavy? Man, he 5'3". He going around telling everybody I'm whack. We gotta take him out. Kill him? Well, I ain't mean, Data.
Next is one of the worst things CJ does in the entire game. CJ must steal a car, pretend to be a bodyguard, go to an award show, kidnap the manager, and then drown him in the ocean. The issue is that his girl also gets in the car. When she figures out what is going on, she starts screaming, and you cannot help but feel terrible. Mission passed. Respect plus. Yeah, I don't think so. Jeffrey then wants to throw a party to celebrate the drowning of two completely innocent people and tells us to go get ready. Luckily, I am always dressed for a party. Unfortunately, the party happens to be one of the worst parties of all time. Jeffrey tries rapping without the rhyme book and oh my god, man, everybody just happens to be outside for a quick smoke break. A Grove Street member rushes to us, warning that some ballas are on their way and are planning on attacking the hood. What they do not know is that Grove Street is finally ready to fight back. They attack us from 4 directions at the same time, but in the end, we win. This shows how important CJ and Ryder are to the story. Imagine what would have happened if they had not stolen the weapons from the military. Everyone goes back to the party like nothing happened, and now the only thing left to do is go see Officer Tenpenny. CJ, you buster, you need to go grab some Molotovs and burn down a house. Blah, 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 blah. What is strange about this is that we have to take out a bunch of Vagos, which is exactly what we did in Big Smoke's missions. After setting the house on fire, a girl starts shouting and oh no, she needs help. Now CJ must save her before the house burns down. The big boy Carl Johnson grabs a fire extinguisher, puts out the fire, finds the girl, the house almost falls on him, puts out even more fire and escapes.
Hey man, I owe you my life.
No!
Give me a call sometime. We should go out or something.
No! Denise is your girlfriend now? Keep her happy and she will love you. No, we are not doing that.
As an officer in charge of putting an end to gang violence, I find myself in a difficult moral position, Carl.
Yeah, right.
Carl, I'm hurt. I truly am. And just as I was about to help those poor Grove Street boys.
Oh yeah? How?
Go check out a busy freight warehouse down the docklands and you'll see what I mean.
Why would he tell CJ about a meeting between some ballas and Russians? I think this is just another case of him using people he does not like to get rid of people he does not like. The meeting is guarded by Russians and ballas, and in the most Half-Life 2 way possible, we blow them up using explosive barrels. Honestly, I wish this feature was used more often. Just look at the chaos on the screen. At the end, there's this part where you chase a Russian arms dealer on foot, but then he jumps into a car and it turns into a vehicle chase. Being able to shoot the SMG while riding a motorcycle is kind of overpowered. CJ gets a phone call from Sweet, who tells him to go reclaim some territory and take out a random ballas leader. Sweet of course does not want to join us because why would he? Why not stay at home all day and complain while CJ does all of the work? Before attempting to take over the territory, the game wants us to go to an ammunition to grab some weapons. Why does ammunition have a cardboard of CJ? Next we are introduced to a gang war mechanic. You must survive 3 waves of enemy attacks to take over the territory. I think it would have been a bit better to maybe have some scripted fights here and there. The developers probably did not have enough time or money to do that, so yeah, it is what it is. What is left to do is fight a ballas leader and...
Yeah, Pete, what you gonna do now?
Well, that was easy. Grove Street is finally back on its feet, all thanks to Ryder and CJ by the way, and it feels like we are gearing up for war. I always get nostalgia watching this cutscene. It reminds me of that part in Doom Eternal: The Ancient Gods Part 2. Remember at the start of the game when the ballas ambushed Grove Street at a funeral? It's time to return the favor. Oh, by the way, Sweet is finally coming with us. Yeah, I cannot believe it either. Unlike the ballas, the homies do not even wait for the funeral to be over. We go straight in to show the ultimate form of disrespect. The goal is to annihilate Kane.
That's gotta be Kane!
No, not that Kane. In the previous cutscene, Sweet mentioned that all of this was Tenpenny's idea. Knowing Tenpenny, this has to be part of some kind of game he's playing.
No more base in the streets. We're gonna unite the families once more because the ball's been pumping our guys full of base for too long. So all the family sets gonna meet down at the Jefferson Motel. I say it's time we went down there and made it official.
Alright! Sweet finally acts as a leader. We drive to a motel and wait while he talks to some gang members about keeping crack off the streets. The LSPD shows up and, with Sweet still inside the motel, CJ jumps out of the car and tells Ryder and Big Smoke to come and help rescue Sweet, but they refuse and decide to drive away. Now it's up to CJ to fight his way through a bunch of cops and somehow get his brother out of the motel. The mission is pretty intense. The cops are not playing around this time. The gameplay is fun, but man, we have to talk about the story. All of this is happening because of Tenpenny. He knew all important Grove Street members would be at the motel, and he sent the SWAT team to take everyone out. Looking back, all those gang members we took out for him were probably just anti-drug people he wanted gone. We played his game and lost. What a surprise. CJ finds his brother, but the party is far from over. They are stuck on the roof of the building with a police helicopter on their ass. Luckily, they managed to take it down and find a way off the roof, but now they are on the street without a vehicle. Smoke and Ryder show up. We get in the car and what follows is one of the most action-packed sequences in the entire game. The LSPD is not messing around, and neither are we.
Man, it's got smoke. Did you see that?
Damn! That was fucked!
Man, it's getting intense. It's getting worse out here. It's like World War VIII.
Oh my god, dear god, shut up, man, shut up. Why is that joke? Getting out of this situation seems impossible. Not only is the entire LSPD after us, but Big Smoke keeps driving in a circle. He decides to drive the car in the direction of a police helicopter. In some kind of miracle, his plan works. The police think we exploded and everyone escapes. Also, really, Rockstar? Really? Without even talking about the cutscene of the next mission, I need to talk about the actual name of it, the Green Saber. CJ's mother was murdered by Ballas members driving a Green Saber. It looks like we're finally going to find out whose car it is and who was responsible for what happened. The cutscene starts with Sweet giving a speech about how Grove Street is king and how they are going to come out on top. Is he serious? We just got ambushed by the LSPD and barely survived. Many Grove Street members were either shot or arrested. Tenpenny clearly set us up, so he should be our main target. And yet, Sweet is out here telling everyone to find weapons and get ready to ambush some ballas under a random intersection. Like, what? Where is all of this happiness coming from? We lost many gang members, and all this guy can think about is, we need to attack ballas. Anyway, before that, Caesar calls us and explains he wants to meet us under a freeway, but does not explain why. Time to get in the sketchy car and get mugged.
So you dragged me way across town to see what?
Just in time, ese. Take a good hard look over there.
What?
Just watch, homie.
What the fuck?
Just like that, everything gets turned upside down. Big Smoke and Ryder have been working with the Ballas and Tenpenny this entire time. To make it even worse, we see the Green Saber being taken out of a garage, which means that Ryder and Smoke are both responsible for what happened to CJ's mother. From what I have seen online, people hate that Ryder was part of this, but I think it makes perfect sense, especially if you know the context of the short film introduction. In this scene, Big Smoke talks about destiny and even says something like, if you put a gun to a brother's head, a brother's gonna do what he's told. That means Tenpenny threatened Big Smoke and Ryder and forced them to find a way to get rid of Sweet, but obviously that went wrong, which led to CJ coming back. CJ showing up in Los Santos at the beginning of the game caught everyone off guard. Remember when Big Smoke was hiding in the kitchen with a baseball bat during the funeral? He was not protecting the house from ballas, he was waiting for Sweet to come home so he could smack him over the head with a baseball bat, because if he did not, Tenpenny would do something bad to him, or at least that's how I see it. That does not excuse what he did, but at least he had a reason to do it. Even early on, you could tell Big Smoke wanted Grove Street to get into the drug business, but Sweet always said no. What is crazy is that Smoke talked about it multiple times right in front of Sweet, and yet when CJ came back, Sweet did not even mention it. What an idiot! The decision to get Ryder involved can seem weird because, unlike Smoke, Ryder is a cool guy who helped Grove Street multiple times. I mean, come on, Tenpenny kept visiting him. Tenpenny never visited us. After finding out he was betrayed, CJ has to save his brother from a ballas attack. Sweet ends up getting shot and is in critical condition. We take out all of the enemies, but it does not matter. The police shows up, and all CJ can do is surrender. Tenpenny finally wins. There is no one left to stop him. The camera zooms out and the screen fades to black. GTA San Andreas ends with the bad guys on top. Or does it?
Hey, man, where we at?
Everything that has happened so far was just the first out of 6 major sections of the game, which is insane to think about considering the fact that development of this game only took 2 years and it was made with a budget of around $10 million, which is 10 times less than GTA 4's 100 million, 30 times less than GTA 5's 300 million, and 300 times less than GTA 6's 3 billion. If you had to choose the game with the best technological advances, you would choose one of these games. But just from a passion point of view, I think GTA San Andreas easily takes the cake and even the cherry, at least until GTA 6 comes out. Now that Grove Street is down, Tenpenny, Big Smoke and Ryder have completely taken over Los Santos, and CJ cannot do anything about it. Tenpenny even says that if we try going after Smoke, Sweet will be skadoodled by his prison mates. He also dumps us in the middle of nowhere and forces us to take out people he does not like. We went from being in a rich, busy city to now being stuck in the countryside, surrounded by a bunch of peasants who are either walking around shirtless or doing their best Jimmy McGill impression. The nice cars are gone. Instead, you see a bunch of old cars, RVs, trucks, bicycles, and damn, look at that motorcycle. Even the police officers and their vehicles look different. Just to show you how small this town is, the medical center is next to the funeral home. If you die, you die. The fast food place has garbage all over the floor, and the kitchen is full of flies. Most of the NPCs look extremely shady, even creepy in a way. Look at this guy. You cannot tell me he does not want to eat my soul. Some are pretty chill, like these guys just hanging out. But still, compared to what we had back in Los Santos, this feels like a completely different world. Remember when I talked about the myths and legends? We are finally in the place that started all of them. There is a big forest nearby, and the amount of myths and legends in this forest alone is insane. First, there's this cabin. Back in the day, everybody thought it was haunted by Leatherface. Then there are these random cars, which people used to call ghost cars. In reality, they were only put there in case the player got stuck on foot and needed a car. But back then, everyone thought they were haunted by something. I remember watching videos of people saying that if you came to this forest at 3 AM, Bigfoot would appear. Everybody, even myself, believed it because it made sense. The forest is creepy, so it makes sense for there to be monsters in it. Even now, this place still gives me the creeps. The amount of similar looking trees and bushes can mess with your head. Your eyes will start seeing things that are not even there. Come here during a foggy night with the X-Files theme playing in the background and you get the reason why I cannot sleep at night. Alright, let's go back. Tenpenny wants us to go silence an FBI snitch who is hiding in some cabin in the woods on Mount Chiliad. No, unfortunately, it's not the Leatherface cabin, it's actually Pixie's. CJ takes out a bunch of FBI agents, takes a picture of the snitch and leaves.
Caesar, it's me.
Carl, you alright, Holmes? I got some backup coming out to protect you. My cousin. Meet them over at the diner in Dillymore over in Red County. You won't miss them.
Okay, let's go meet Caesar's cousin. On the way there, let's talk about the game's soundtrack. I have not mentioned this yet, but I spent over 10 years playing San Andreas multiplayer, and my total time across all servers adds up to about 5,000 hours. The radio stations from single player play in multiplayer too, which means I have been listening to the same songs over and over again for longer than a decade. Not only am I still not tired of them, but my music taste developed based on what I used to listen to in the game. There are 11 radio stations in total. My favorite station has always been Radio X, followed by KDST, Radio Los Santos, and K-Rose. And as you can imagine, I grew up developing a strong taste for metal, rock, rap, hip-hop, and even country music. Honestly, I understand why the budget for the game had to be $10 million. $9.9 million had to be spent on the soundtrack. Listen to these names: Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, NWA, Ice Cube, Eazy-E, Depeche Mode, Faith No More, Living Colour, Guns N' Roses, Ozzy Osbourne, rest in peace, Rage Against the Machine, Alice in Chains, Kiss, Toto, Leonard Skinner, the list goes on and on. Quick fun fact, did you know that if you are AFK for too long, CJ starts singing songs from the radio?
Young ho, never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Move your body, move your body. Hey, yo, you dropped a bomb on me. Roller coaster. Take your time and let me love you good. Express yourself. cause I'm from Grove Street. Warm it up, Kane. Warm it up, CJ. Warm it up, Kane. Da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Nothing but a G thing, baby. Boom, da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
The next cutscene blew my mind as a kid. Catalina, a character from GTA 3, shows up and apparently she's Caesar's cousin? What? How? I'm a really big fan of that game, so seeing her show up here and slowly finding out how she ended up with Claude is very interesting. Catalina wants to rob 4 businesses, and it's up to the player to decide which one to rob first. I chose this one because it was like 5 meters away. For the Americans, that's like 5,000 feet or something, I don't know. This part is pretty straight to the point. You put these guys to sleep, steal a truck, and drive it here. This mission adds something very important to the game, the truck missions. Not only did these missions add more to the RPG mechanics of the game, but they also inspired hundreds, if not even thousands, of multiplayer servers to add truck jobs. The feeling of slowly driving a truck on the highway while listening to A Horse with No Name cannot be replaced with anything in this world.
Carl,
Who is this?
you know me. This is the truth.
No, I don't.
Perfection. They said you were a moron.
To put it short, Tempany wants us to steal a combine harvester for the truth. Who is the truth? It's the truth. Before we do that, check out this rainbow. We go to a farm and steal a combine harvester. My favorite thing to do here is run everyone over and turn them into gibs. We go back to the truth, give him the harvester, and that is it. Driving around in the countryside will always be fun, but this part of the game is probably my least favorite just because of how uninteresting and underwhelming it is. But maybe that's exactly what the developers intended. CJ gets a call from Caesar, who tells him that he and Kendall had to leave Los Santos because it got too dangerous. He wants CJ to visit him in Angel Pine, which happens to be exactly where we live. I decided to go back to Los Santos to see if it's really as bad as Caesar says it is. On the way there, I stole a police car and accidentally found out that if you turn on the sirens, traffic will move out of the way. Did the developers think of everything? Also, Caesar was right. Los Santos is dangerous. The neighborhood we used to live in has been taken over by the Ballas. There are no more Grove Street gang members on the street. The world is evolving based on what is happening in the storyline, which is awesome. Going back to Angel Pine, we get this cutscene of CJ, Caesar, and Kendall being angry about Big Smoke's betrayal, but not being able to do anything about it, which does not lead to a mission, but instead, Catalina calls us and...
Why don't you call, eh?
Well, I was just about to call you, but...
She is probably the most obnoxious character in the entire GTA franchise. Instead of being a quick cameo, she ends up being a character you are going to end up being stuck with for almost 1 hour of gameplay. I was about 2 cutscenes away from completely ripping my hair out, listening to her and CJ talk to each other.
Oh, baby, I'm so sorry, baby.
What was that?
You so right. Please forgive me, baby.
I think I love you.
That's great. Cool. Yeah, fantastic.
But no matter how you feel about Catalina, her missions are fun. Not only do you get to choose the order you complete them in, but there is different dialogue depending on which one you do first, second, and last. The first one I picked was the liquor store robbery. CJ and Catalina want to rob the place, but a bunch of peasants show up and rob it instead of us. She is not happy about this and starts screaming in our ears. So we start chasing them on a quad bike. Each one of them carries a briefcase that gets dropped when they fall off the bike, and our objective is to collect all 3 of them.
Look, baby, I really need that paper. Oh my God! What in hell's name is that? Please, no.
You never write to me. You don't call.
Ow! Hey! Ooh!
Oh
Ow!
God.
Ow!
The next robbery is at a betting shop. Catalina wants us to blow up a safe while she shoots some random NPCs. This gets us a 4-star wanted level, so the objective is to find a paint spray to lose them. The final robbery is at a bank. Someone pulls the alarm and the police is alerted, which leads to a chase. First you have to deal with police officers on foot, then you steal police motorcycles, get chased by police officers on bikes, and rescue Catalina after she falls off the bike like a complete idiot. And we are finally done with her missions. After beating him in a race earlier in the game, Caesar calls me and asks if I want to compete for the title of the best racist in the countryside. The answer to that question will always be the same. Yes, Caesar, yes, let's do it. We are racing against Claude from GTA 3? Oh no!
Woozie, but my friends call me Woozie. How you doing?
CJ, Carl Johnson.
Good luck, Carl Johnson.
Okay, so listen, I don't want to brag or anything, but these races always felt way too easy. It feels like a driving through checkpoints mission rather than a competitive race. Claude from GTA 3 is not that good of a racist after all.
You drive with style, Carl Johnson. Give me a call. Maybe we can do a little business together.
So this is how they end up together. Just a quick fun fact, Claude and Catalina were together for 9 years. How? Let's take a second to appreciate how good this game looks. Tell me you would not want to just drive around the map while listening to some music in the background. The vibe I get here is the same vibe I get when playing to the second mission of Halo Combat Evolved. These bright, colorful environments are awesome to look at. CJ wins the race and Catalina finally leaves. Apparently she's going to Liberty City with Claude. I wonder how that is going to turn out. Claude gives CJ the papers for a garage in San Fierro, which happens to be one of the 3 main cities in the game.
What's happening?
Hey, Carl, dude. I got a little green village up in the hills. Come and get it.
Oh, it's the true guy again. Let's see what he wants.
Peace. I've got everything you need, lone traveler.
A police helicopter finds his weed farm, and now we must destroy it with a flamethrower before more police officers arrive. I like the detail that after burning down a bunch of weed, CJ gets high and the screen starts shaking. Once that is done, the truth gives us a rocket launcher to take down the helicopter. I mean, of course, who doesn't keep a rocket launcher in the back of their van? It's time for us to go to San Fierro. San Fierro is just another name for San Francisco. This place is a vibe, especially at night. If I had to choose the city with the best missions, it would probably be this one. CJ is not happy about the condition of the garage. He starts swearing at everyone. They calm him down, and now the truth wants to give us a tour of the city and introduce us to some people who can help turn this place into an actual garage. 2 of these people are Jethro and Dwayne, who happen to be 2 minor characters in GTA Vice City. Again, I love seeing characters from other GTA games show up. It makes the world feel much bigger. We also meet Zero, the biggest nerd of all time. Things are finally starting to look good.
Carl, how's San Fierro?
CJ must work for Tempany again. Tempany wants him to plant drugs into a DA's car and then call the cops on him. CJ accepts, not because he wants to help Tempany, but because DAs are the prosecutors in cases against criminals. And CJ is a criminal, so yeah. This reminds me of that mission from GTA 3 where the player has to plant a bomb in a car and then put the car back without damaging it. Except this time we follow a valet, steal his valet uniform, leave him in his lovely underwear, pretend to be a valet, wait for the DA to get here, get his car, plant the weed from the truth in the car, drive the car back without scratching it, put it back here and then call the police.
He's got half of Mexico in here. Must be 2 tons of Mary here.
What? But I've never seen. How could it be?
Hell of a defense you got there, buddy!
Completing this unlocks the ability to do valet missions, so I had to try it out. You first need to buy a house, then you have to put on the valet uniform, drive back here and then walk into the red circle. I did this for like 5 minutes and then I got fired for no reason. Oh well. Drip change transition. Ka-chow. What follows is the most evil thing CJ has done and will ever do in the entire game. Kendall, his sister, gets mad at some construction workers for calling her a biznatch. Instead of handling this like a normal person, CJ decides to steal a bulldozer, push a toilet, which by the way, still has a person inside of it, inside of a hole in the ground, and then bury that person alive. Too bad there is not a GTA San Andreas sequel, because I would have loved to see what happens to CJ after the game. The evil things he does from time to time would have been the perfect setup to turn him into an evil guy. What we do next is what many consider to be one of the most boring missions in the entire game. Caesar tells us about a meeting between the Ballas and their drug suppliers, which means we can finally find out who is behind the big operation. You need to drive for 5 minutes, pick up Caesar and then drive for another 5 minutes. The goal here is to take photos of the people who show up to the meeting. The first one to show up is Ryder, which is sad to see. Then there is this other guy who apparently goes by the name of T-Bone Mendez, and this guy whose name we do not know. This is where I want to go back to the GTA San Andreas introduction short film. T-Bone can be seen beating up a random gang member, while the other guy is talking about finding some buyer in Los Santos. Knowing the context now, this is referring to either Tempany, Big Smoke, or both of them. The last person to show up is a guy wearing a purple suit. Could that be the purple guy? The bite of 87? Quick fun fact, CJ and Caesar were supposed to be taking these photos from a helicopter, but that got changed during development. What did not change, however, were the voice lines. Instead of whispering to not be heard by the people across the street, they end up screaming like madmen.
Ryder, you shermhead!
That's T-Bone Mendez.
What now? Is that it?
Hey, who's the gringo? How many of these clowns are there?
I know a pimp when I see one.
Hey, wait a second. We are back in Angel Pine. Let's take a break from the story and focus on some of the side quests. Like the one where the player can be a paramedic, rescue NPCs and bring them to the hospital. Completing this 20-minute long bore fest doubles your HP bar, which will help out a lot later in the game. My favorite side quest is the one where the player has to drive through a big arena and try getting to checkpoints before any of the other NPCs do. It feels like playing multiplayer. The NPCs are not messing around. Their AI is really aggressive. Winning the challenge even gives the player $10,000 and unlocks a new car. We are still on the topic of side quests, so let's continue. The driving school. Oh no. Yeah, it's boring, but completing it can help a new player learn some of the interesting mechanics, like being able to do a burnout, drive on 2 wheels, and perform a pit maneuver. While on the topic of cars, the next side quest is in Los Santos, and it involves participating in a race, which by the way has 12 laps to unlock the monster truck, which has to be the most fun to use vehicle in the entire game. Not only does it destroy cars in seconds, but sometimes it sends them flying, which is funny. Back to San Fierro now.
What's up, Woozie?
Hey, Carl.
Well, look, Woozie, I need to get some info from you, man.
These guys?
Yeah.
They're the Loco Syndicate. They're pretty big time, I think. That's Jizzy B. He's the biggest pimp in town.
The game would have been over hours ago if it wasn't for Caesar. He is exactly what Sweet should have been. Now that we know who is in charge, the one and only Carl Johnson has to figure out how to get close to Jizzy. Oh god, what kind of name is that? Without raising any suspicion. CJ shows up to the pimp house and offers his services. Oh god, that sounds weird. I should have written that in a different way. Jizzy does not question why some random guy off the street wants to be friends, but instead gives us the task of driving his girl to a random location in San Fierro. He then wants us to go get rid of a pimp. Then one of his girls needs to be saved from some bad people. But oh no, plot twist. The girl we dropped off earlier is cheating on Jizzy, and Jizzy wants to make an example out of the guy he cheated with. Woozie calls us and says he is interested in collaborating. What, are you Dr. Breen? Sorry Woozie, but that's going to have to wait. First we need to know what is going on behind this drug operation. Jizzy introduces us to T-Bone, who we of course already know, and they seem to be arguing about money. Before things can escalate, T-Bone gets a phone call from someone who mentions that one of their drug vans was ambushed and the drugs were stolen, so he sends CJ to investigate. The drugs were stolen by bikers, and we have to steal them back. T-Bone gets a phone call from a guy named Mike, no, not Ermentrout, who has been kidnapped. Not sure what kind of kidnappers leave their hostage with a working phone, but hey, I'm not a kidnapper, I would not know. T-Bone keeps Mike on the line, asking him what he hears so we can figure out where he is based on the background sounds. First we check out a spot that is right next to our garage. Then we go to the docks and eventually CJ realizes Mike is probably at the airport. We find Mike, no, not Ermentrout, get rid of the people who kidnapped him and set him free. Look who it is! CJ, Jizzy, T-Bone and Mike Ermentrout blow up the van, run away from the police, paint their car another color and live a happy life ever after. The only thing left for CJ is to stay undercover and wait for the best moment to strike. T-Bone wants to meet us at a random gas station in an empty car. Yeah, now we are definitely getting mugged.
Hey, what the hell? You think you can mess with me? I will blow your head off. I don't know what you're talking about, man. My throat. Who you working for? Nobody. I almost had you, man.
CJ has their trust now, and they give him one more thing to take care of: help a drug van get to its destination safely. The problem is that one of the Vietnamese gangs in San Fierro, the Nang Boys, are trying to steal what's in the van. They set up roadblocks, and CJ has to take them out using a sniper rifle and a rocket launcher. I don't know why the police is okay with gang members blocking roads and some guy blowing them up using rocket launchers, but hey, it's a free country. What is important about this mission is that we finally find out where the drugs are being delivered, which means we can come back here once we are ready to take down the operation.
What's up?
Hey, what's up, Jethro?
Some cops are looking for you in the office, man.
Oh, not again. They want Carl to take care of a reporter and a journalist who have been causing some problems for them. This might not seem important right now, but keep this in the back of your head. Tenpenny got rid of everyone who was trying to expose him. Officer Pendlebury, the informant who was about to talk to the FBI, the DA, and now a reporter and a journalist. This is setting up an important plot point for the final act. Unfortunately, the mission is not as interesting as the plot point. First, you need to
follow the damn train, CJ!
From San Fierro to Los Santos, which takes around 5 minutes. Then, you have to follow the reporter without making him too suspicious. At some point, the reporter reaches his destination and meets up with the journalist, and that is the perfect time for big boy Carl Johnson to stand in the middle of the street with a sniper rifle and shoot both of them. Yeah, this is an extremely realistic scenario. CJ seems to be looking for a silencer. CJ, are you stupid? You have one in your pocket. Caesar shows up and asks what is going on. CJ says Woozie left a message saying there is a meeting between the Loco Syndicate and the Ballas. He wants to get rid of Jizzy, get his phone, and find out where the meeting will happen. Caesar gives him a silencer, and CJ acts like it's the craziest thing he has ever seen. The entrance to Jizzy's pimp house is guarded by these two dumbasses, so we use the window to get in. Next we have what is supposed to be a stealth section, but I accidentally fell, skipped the entire section, and triggered the cutscene. Quick fun fact, the Ballas member standing here is the same guy from the introduction short film. During the cutscene, CJ puts a gun to Jizzy's head, and somehow Jizzy manages to get away. But what Jizzy does not know is that CJ's blast powers are way better than his, so the chase does not last that long. One down, two more to go. The one and only Carl Johnson meets up with Caesar on top of a building near the place where the meeting will happen. A bunch of gang members are already guarding the rooftop. We take them out and Woozie's guys take the high ground. T-Bone and Ryder show up. CJ and Caesar manage to dispose of T-Bone, but Ryder runs away. Then, without any build-up whatsoever, Ryder just dies. No explanation why he betrayed Grove Street, just, oh hey, Ryder is a bad guy now, he must be taken out. Some people say he was written off because his voice actor did not want to keep recording voice lines for the game, but the voice actor later confirmed these rumors to be false, and even said he recorded everything he was asked to record. So who do we believe? A voice actor or just some rumors? Mike Ehrmantraut, aka Torino, saw the bodies of the gang members on the rooftop and his helicopter flew away, meaning he is still alive and still needs to be dealt with. Woozie finds Torino's location. CJ gets there in hopes of finally putting an end to the operation, but right before he can get to him, Torino escapes by helicopter again. Thankfully, there is a conveniently placed rocket launcher just sitting there, waiting for you to pick it up and shoot down the helicopter. I would lie if I said this was easy. Not only are the rockets extremely slow, but the helicopter moves extremely fast. But anyway, Torino is no more. It is a bit weird that Torino's body is nowhere to be seen, but the developers probably forgot to place it there. I am sure there's nothing to worry about. All the Loco Syndicate members are gone. It's time to move on to more important things, like the Zero missions. No, not Zero's missions. And I'm happy to say that the one and only Carl Johnson is now the proud owner of Zero RC. For some reason, GTA Vice City and Manhunt action figures are being sold here. Does this mean GTA games are canon in GTA San Andreas?
Life is nothing but misery, briefly interspersed with agony. We all know drugs are for losers and or sex maniacs. And right now, sex is the last thing on my mind.
Thank God for that.
Berkeley is back.
Oh, Berkeley.
Yes.
People are going to hate me for this, but I have to say it. The nerd-gangster dynamic is funny as hell. Berkeley, Zero's worst enemy, launches an attack on his shop, and we have to protect it using a minigun that just happens to be on the top of the building. This is a tower defense mission that lasts about 3 minutes. It starts off kind of fun, but gets repetitive very fast because the toy planes always spawn in the same locations. Shooting down toy planes is not that interesting, but you have to admit, the game probably has the best mission variety in the entire GTA franchise, at least so far. Let's get to the juicy part now. Zero's plan is to launch a toy plane attack on Berkeley's vans and bicycles. Let's talk about the problems I have with the toy planes. First of all, trying to maneuver them is impossible. Second of all, the fuel system and the time limit are very annoying because the last 2 vans are on the other side of the city. Third of all, the plane can be destroyed, but there is no health bar, so you would assume it's indestructible, but no Nope. The only positive thing I can say about this is that the view of San Fierro at night is beautiful. Berkeley challenges Zero to a fight to the death, using toy helicopters. I find this part to be pretty enjoyable. What you must do here is help a car get to its destination before the time on the screen runs out. It's basically the same concept as that one mission we had to help the drug van get to its destination, except this time, instead of Vietnamese gangsters blocking the street, it's just Berkeley. I finished this first try. Either everybody sucks or I'm just too good. Let's move on and go visit Woozie.
You know of the boss's curse? He's blind.
Woozie!
Let me reintroduce myself. Come with me.
Mind if I get
Now, where's that loose cobble?
Hey, what the hell you doing?
Just checking the, shut up, Carl.
The blind leading the blind.
Oh, sorry. Didn't see you lying down there.
Whoever wrote these cutscenes was on some serious crack. Woozie and CJ get ambushed by the Nang boys and have to escape. Can someone explain to me how Woozie, a blind person, is able to shoot at moving enemies and hit them?
Let me introduce you to Shuk Fu, Ram Fa Li.
How you doing?
The Shifu would like a package retrieved.
Someone wrote this. Unfortunately, Woozie's first couple of missions are kind of boring. This one, for example, requires the player to go to the airport and pick up a car. The Nang boys try ambushing you, and it must be one of the worst ambushes of all time. You can just drive past everyone. Ran Fa Li, aka the guy who only speaks is being followed by the Nang boys and cannot leave Woozie's building. Our goal is to lure them to a place far away so Ran Fa Li can make his escape. You drive all the way to the countryside again, the Nang boys show up, and the objective is to drive to this creepy forest while they chase you on motorcycles. The twist is that CJ is not allowed to be seen by them, otherwise the mission will fail. It's an interesting concept, but the guys on the motorcycles are not immune to bullets. That turns the whole thing into a section of just riding a motorcycle through a creepy forest at night. When the Nang boys realize they followed the wrong person the entire time, they leave and that's the end of it. You need more practice underwater before you can start this mission. Oh no. So the goal now is to swim underwater for about 15 minutes to improve CJ's underwater skills. Keep in mind, GTA San Andreas is the first GTA game in the series to allow the player to swim. Back in the day, this was revolutionary. So even though it's an extremely boring task to do right now, it was probably a lot of fun back in the day just because it was new.
I have a confession to make. I'm blind.
No shit!
Yeah.
What we have to do next is plant a bug on a big ship. To get to the ship, we must swim underwater and not be spotted by the enemies on the boats until we get to the ship. However, I had different plans. And by different plans, I mean an island to stand on and a sniper rifle to snipe all of the enemies from far away. I stole their boat, started a boat war, lost, and then got on the ship. What follows is another section that was supposed to be stealthy. I think the game really wants the player to use a knife here, but I had a silencer, which made me feel like Agent 47. I planted the bug, swam away, and that was it. Random quick fact, NPCs on the street sometimes talk to the player, and it's possible to reply in a positive or in a negative way, which can lead to some interesting situations.
You swim with AKs? Yeah, sucker.
Woozie wants us to take care of one more thing for him. Some of the Da Nang boys and their leader are trying to get to San Fierro by ship. The objective is to fly to the ship, get rid of as many Nang boys as possible before parachuting onto it, get rid of the leader, release some prisoners, and then get out of there. One of the Nang boys manages to shoot us down, which results in losing all of our weapons, except for a knife, which was not even in my inventory beforehand. Holy crap, that is a nice view. We have to free some random refugees from a container and then take down the leader of the Da Nang boys.
Enough! We settled this here! Dragon sausage!
What is left to do now is get to the refugees and escape. CJ goes back to the garage, Caesar and Woozie show up, and Woozie says we must destroy the Loco Syndicate's crack lab to get rid of their operation from San Fierro. Woozie knows the perfect method to do that: dynamite. The player has to drive a car to the crack lab and trigger the dynamite to explode. What is left to do is get rid of the rest of the dumbass gangsters, steal a car, and use a conveniently placed ramp to escape. And just like that, the Loco Syndicate is gone.
Hi, handsome.
Well, hello there.
K-Roll sounds good, huh?
Yeah, I love it.
Have you ever been to San Fierro?
Yeah, that rocks.
See you in my dreams.
See you later, sweet cheeks.
What? A mysterious man calls us and mentions having some important information about Sweet. Yeah, whatever. Who cares? We will do that later. There is something else that needs to be taken care of first, and it's something that I never did in any of my previous playthroughs. By purchasing a $50,000 business called Wank Cars, 4 new missions get unlocked. The plan is to steal cars and use them for our business. The first car is called Uranus. Zero found a way to trace a girl who has a nice Uranus. The player has to get to the signals on the minimap before they get too cold to find her. Stealing the car and bringing it back to the garage unlocks the ability to modify street racing cars at this mod shop. The tuning system is insane, but more to it a bit later. CJ and Caesar go to an automobile showroom and steal 2 cars. The game introduces the nitro mechanic, which is very fun to use. After messing around for a while, the police show up. Big boy Carl Johnson and big boy Caesar have to make an escape. Instead of having a simple escape the police objective, there are a bunch of scripted sequences that make it a bit different than the usual stuff. I like it a lot. This is... There are a bunch of scripted sequences that make it a bit different than the usual stuff. I like it a lot. After escaping the police, they find us again, and that leads to another chase where we use this ramp to...
Okay, well good. See you back at the garage, DJ.
I do not want to go back to the garage. Let's load a save. Hey, wait a minute. Did I forget to save? Oh no! Stealing the car and bringing it back to the garage unlocks the ability to modify. CJ and Caesar go to an automobile. There are a bunch of scripted I did it. Yay. Okay, next one. Drive to the docks. Okay, get in the crane. Hey, wait a minute. Is this pick up a container with the crane? You know, I'm starting to get some deja vu here. Is this a copy of that crane part from Half-Life 2? A few minutes later, after spending what felt like an eternity trying to find the container with the right car, some NPCs show up, but they magically disappear. How did that happen?
Hey Holmes, that was fun. We should do that again.
No, it wasn't. Shut up. Caesar is angry. He has been trying to steal someone's car for hours and he cannot seem to be able to do it. It's left to big boy Carl Johnson to solve the problem. This mission uses a new mechanic that is only used once in the entire campaign. The ability to use stingers. You only get 3 stingers, and if you use all of them, the mission fails, which is annoying. Blowing off the car's tires results in the screen turning black for a couple of seconds, which is meant to show that CJ is repairing the car.
Man, stuff's disgusting.
And that is why the tires are magically fine afterward. Let's talk about the ability to tune cars. The tuning system is so crazy, it's possible to turn a car from this to this with less than $6,000. Here's my car collection that I spent $20,000 on. Let me quickly talk about the most underrated part of the entire map, Bayside. This area is connected to San Fierro. Even though it's one of the best looking areas on the map, there is almost nothing to do here. Look at this view, look at these mountains. So much wasted potential. It's even possible to climb the mountain, and the view from up here is amazing. When I was exploring the area for footage, I discovered something that shocked me. There is a boat school. How did I not know that? They made so much stuff, some of it had to be put in places that nobody even visits. The amount of unlockable content is insane. There is stuff like the firefighter missions, which, when completed, allow you to be immune to the fire, or being a police officer and dealing with criminals, being a pimp, working as a train driver, a taxi driver, a delivery person, and even a paramedic, which we already did. The game even has a ridiculous amount of side activities like, for example, playing pool, basketball, dancing, playing 4 different arcade games, being able to have like 6 different girlfriends, with each of them giving the player different benefits and each one having different needs. Then there's the Chiliad challenge, the Energy 500 challenge, the BMX challenge, and many other things. The boat school is a lot of fun, probably the most fun out of all the driving schools in the game. My favorite thing about it is the vortex, because it can be used on the water, on the ground, and even in the air. We will get back to it a bit later. Driving a boat under a big red bridge while listening to the sound of birds is just special, man. Let's go see the mysterious man who called us earlier. Something is wrong here. What kind of psychopath has a house without doors? Even for this game's standards, this is up there with one of the most random missions ever. The mysterious man wants CJ to prove himself by driving a monster truck through a bunch of checkpoints in the desert. What? He wants us to finish the race in under 6 minutes, but I did it in 4 minutes and 6 seconds, putting me in the 8th place on speedrun.com. With a bit more practice, the no glitches world record speedrun is easily beatable. Oh no. Oh, I want to try that now. Fine, let's download a save file and run this a couple of times. Just so you know, I am doing this a few months after finishing the game, which is why I don't have a save file for that mission. Let's see if it's possible to break 406. 417? Let's try again. 407? Oh god. Okay, one more time. 401, this is the same time as the 7th place on speedrun.com, and it wasn't even a good run. Let's go for sub 4 minutes. 358, NoClick unofficially has the 6th best time in the world for this mission. The record is 3 minutes and 33 seconds, which, with enough practice, could be broken. My best time after a few more tries was 3 minutes and 56 seconds. Saving another 23 seconds is possible. Not easy, but possible. By the way, shout out to the speedrun community. People are still speedrunning this game, and they are still breaking world records to this day. Make sure to check out this video about the history of GTA San Andreas world records after finishing my video. Going back to the story, it's time to find out who the mystery man is.
Hey, Carl. Hey, what the Hey, Torino, I told you my bad, man. What the hell can I say? I screwed you over.
Calm down, kid.
Just go ahead and kill me then, Reno.
Shut up and sit down. What, you think I'm a drug dealer?
It's Torino. What a surprise. He did not die in the helicopter crash because he was not even in the helicopter, which is why there was no body. This guy is some kind of undercover agent who disguised himself as a drug supplier. He wants CJ to work for him, and in return, Torino promises to keep Sweet safe in prison. Torino's first task is quite easy: steal a truck. It's a 2-man job, so Carl needs someone to help him out. And what better person than the man himself, Caesar? I am going to say this again. Caesar is exactly what Sweet should have been. He puts his life on the line for us by jumping off a motorcycle onto a moving truck. What a madman. Lamau.
Carl, I need you to do me a favor.
Yeah, I'll do you a proper injury, man. What you knowing about my brother?
Relax. He's in prison upstate. D-Wing, cell 13. Tenpenny and Pulaski are really relatively benign, unless, of course, you're a family member of Officer Pendlebury, whom they shot when he threatened to expose them, but you do know all about that, right?
Dang!
How powerful is this guy? Now that we have access to the desert area, let's take a moment to talk about something that haunted me during my childhood. There's this bar called Lil Pro Bin, which has a spinning UFO outside. This bar created hundreds, if not even thousands of theories about aliens being in the game, and for good reason. Going inside, the desk here happens to look exactly like the desk Torino has in his weird house. My guess is that Torino is somehow involved with the place and is trying to find out if aliens exist, or maybe he's already communicating with them. This wall is covered with pictures of UFO sightings. Most of these seem to have been taken in-game, and nearly all of them were taken in the desert area. Because of that, people started hunting for these supposed UFO sightings, and that is how the UFO/alien myths and legends were born. There are no UFOs anywhere, but nobody knew that 15 years ago. Nobody knew how to look through the game files and check the models to confirm what was real and what was not. Because of that, videos like these started popping up on the internet, and everybody believed it. Again, looking back at it, yes, it looks fake, but 15 years ago, it was the scariest thing in the world. Speaking of the scariest things in the world, I present to you El Castillo del Diablo, an abandoned town in the middle of the desert, aka my worst nightmare. Nah bro, this game is haunted. Oh yes, 6 body bags in a hole in the ground near the creepy cemetery. Not creepy at all. I have a story with this place. So this part is not in the script, but I'm just gonna wing it. So basically, when I was a kid, I used to like going exploring with a camera to see if I could find any of the monsters that I saw in the videos on the internet. One day I was exploring this town and I got on top of a mountain and I swear I saw something with the corner of my eye, and I swear it was some kind of, I don't even know what it was, but it looked like a black figure. Of course, it probably wasn't there, but because of how many videos I saw, I thought it was there and I thought it was real, and that made me creeped out. The videos were so real to me that I even started hallucinating.
Jesus, what took you?
Sorry Torino, I had to talk about myths and legends. What follows is an extremely difficult section where CJ must shoot down 4 enemy helicopters who are trying to steal Torino's package. Not only is it impossible to hit them because they are moving extremely fast, but shooting them down can make them fall and explode on the player. It did not happen to me in this playthrough, but Kid NoClick had a really hard time getting through this back in the day. Anyway, the player must shoot down the helicopters, then a cargo helicopter drops off the important package, and it must be picked up.
Carl, I will always be watching, or listening, or both.
Haha, yeah, not creepy at all. How nice of the game to leave me in the creepiest town in the game with no vehicle in the middle of the night. That skybox in the distance gives me a feeling that cannot be replicated by anything else. Torino wants to buy some kind of property but cannot do it himself because people are watching him, so he makes us buy it. What property? An abandoned airport. You probably know what is next. The pilot school. To prepare myself, I went ahead and bought some new drip, which somehow made me feel worse. What is this outfit? NoClick from the past? This is the part where a lot of players gave up and moved on to other games. The player is forced to get a pilot's license to be able to continue the campaign. Back in the day, this made me quit playing for a whole year. When I finally came back, the only way to progress was to download a save file that already had the pilot school completed. This even made me procrastinate writing this section of the script. I stared at my Word document for 2 days and it was physically impossible for me to write anything down. But after spending most of the time on foot or in a car, a change of scenery is more than welcome. Shooting moving targets from a helicopter and then jumping out of a helicopter and parachuting onto a target can be fun, but only if you know how to do it. Most of the script for this entire video was written from May to July of 2025. You are most likely watching it in 2026 or even later. Remember a couple of moments ago when I said the pilot school made me procrastinate for 2 days? Well, it happened again with the following mission. Not only did I stop writing anything for the video for over a week, but during that time I wrote, recorded and edited a video about Hunt Down the Freeman. Yes, Hunt Down the Freeman. Instead of trying to explain how stupid it is, here's a compilation of some content creators having a lot of fun trying to get through it.
Oh, shit. I'm in a tree. I've hit a tree! Damn it! I hate this plane. Hate it. Hate everything about it. No. Plane. I'm gonna... Nice going, Carl. Really, you did good, kid.
Shut the f. Government agents show up at the abandoned airport. Torino gives big boy Carl Johnson the objective of getting on a moving plane, getting rid of the agents inside of it using a katana, planting satchel charges and then escaping using a parachute. Absolute cinema. Remember when the objectives used to be stuff like ride a bike to escape the balas, or beat up gangsters using baseball bats? Yeah, well, the truth wants us to go steal something called the Black Project from Area 69, which is just another name for Area 51. How did we go from riding a bike to raiding Area 51? Quick fun fact, if CJ is too fat, the truth will call him a fat ass and not accept to work with him until he loses weight. To get into Area 69, CJ must snipe about 30 armed soldiers who are guarding the place. Just look at the minimap. Realistically, how could no one notice CJ? Infiltrating in Area 69 might sound like a big deal, but the mission quickly turns into a joke after getting inside the facility. Not only does the voice announcement system have the weirdest voice lines ever,
all personnel wishing to go to Shazam tonight, please inform reception at your earliest convenience. Could be owner of the alien culture in the diagnostics lab's fridge kindly remove it. Tonight's menu is posted in the canteen. Barf bags can be ordered from human resources. Has anybody seen my screwdriver? I think I left it in the composites lab.
But I'm pretty sure this entire place is just a Half-Life reference. We've got Half-Life looking corridors, scientists with funny voice lines.
Please, no more violence. Take my pass card and go. Helical vector of incidents.
And Gordon Freeman's crowbar just chilling on a table. Out of all the things that the mysterious object could be, it ends up being a jetpack. I have way too many memories of me using the jetpack cheat to fly around the map with it. It's probably one of the most relaxing things to do. The truth wants us to go steal something from a moving train using the jetpack. No idea why the developers loved trains so much, but here we are, following another train. The green goo we end up stealing from the military never shows up again in the story. All the player knows is that the goo is called Year Zero, whatever that means. Since it was stolen from the same people who had a facility that looked exactly like Black Mesa, maybe the goo is supposed to be the anti-mass spectrometer that started the resonance cascade in Half-Life, and this is meant to show that we stopped the resonance cascade from happening. Yeah, not everything has to be a Half-Life reference. That concludes the desert missions. It's time to visit Woozie in his new place, which happens to be in the third main city of GTA San Andreas, Las Venturas. We have gambling, weird pyramids, gambling, weird castles, gambling. The city looks completely different during the night, which is awesome. Everything is very colorful. The pyramid here changes how it looks based on what time it is. How cool is that? This Reddit post shows exactly how much work went into making sure that Las Venturas feels like Las Vegas. Here are a couple of comparisons between the real-life locations and the in-game locations.
CJ!
Yes! Oh, I mean, no! Gambling is very bad, guys. Do not gamble. Out of all the things to buy in Las Venturas, Woozie bought a casino. Some mafia is trying to mess with him by destroying the slot machines and scaring his employees. There are multiple mafias in Las Venturas, and Woozie is not sure which one is behind all of this, so he offers CJ a share of the casino in exchange for helping set it up and finding out which mafia is trying to mess with him. One of Woozie's guys informs us that one of the gangsters who was messing with the operation has been captured. Big boy Carl Johnson comes up with the idea of tying the guy to the windshield of a car and driving him around the city until he talks. Yay, torture. For some reason, the cutscene broke, which led to an interesting situation.
Nah, I think I'ma leave you right where you are.
It's kind of funny how each time a new city gets introduced, the first mission always wants you to just drive around. The guy gets scared and accidentally reveals that he is working for a mafia called the Sandaco families. Okay, time to go back to the GTA San Andreas introduction short film again. The guy that had to be tied to the windshield of the car makes an appearance here. He is seen negotiating a deal with none other than Salvatore Leone, one of the antagonists from GTA 3. Salvatore agrees to give the Sandaco family $5 million to invest in a casino in Las Venturas. The Sandaco family, the Leone family from GTA 3, and the Forelli family from GTA Vice City each own 1/3 of the casino shares. The fact that all of the main gangs from the main GTA games end up being connected is insane. It's revealed that these gangs hate each other but are friends for business purposes. Going back to the present, something must be done to stop the Sandacos from messing with Woozie's casino. What better way to do that than to hit them exactly where it hurts the most? Right in the money. The plan is to rob their casino and steal their money. It's not exactly easy to rob a casino without a plan, especially a casino that is guarded by 3 different mafias, so instead of going in YOLO, like he did back in Area 69, CJ decides it would be wise to plan a heist. Chicka chicka slim shady. First, we need explosives. Explosives can be stolen from the quarry. We steal the dynamite, security shows up, and the goal is to escape the quarry using a dirt bike.
Delivery for Woozie. Hey, you be careful with that.
Oh yeah, good idea. Just give the guy the dynamite in plain sight, on a highway. What many might not know is that after completing the quarry missions, the quarry sub-missions get unlocked. Never did this in any of my playthroughs. Might as well do it now. The first task is simple. Move some rocks out of the way using a bulldozer. The second task is the same, except you must push dynamite out of the way. In the third task, you take this big vehicle and go get rid of the people who planted the dynamite in the quarry. Then the next task is a bit weirder. The bodies of the people we just got rid of have to be disposed of. This gets dark really quick. Their bodies have to be set on fire. The fifth task goes back to the basics. Take a dumper filled with explosives to the abandoned airport. Easy. The second to last task involves taking a bulldozer to a train track and pushing some explosive barrels off the tracks before the train arrives. Again, the developers must really love trains because, my god. By the way, the explosive barrels do not even explode. Rockstar, please fix. The last task is a combination of all the previous ones. It's our job to deal with a dead cop's body by pushing it into a red circle and then... oh, just watch the gameplay. What the hell? Doing all of that unlocks a big vehicle called the dumper, which is somehow even more OP than the monster truck. Just look at how much damage it can do.
Idiot! Hit!
Boss, take a look at these two chips.
One's a fake.
That's amazing. You didn't even touch him.
Nah, I just took a guess. Why else would he come in with two chips and sound so worried? You take a look.
Yep, one of the chips is fake. It was produced in a plastic factory that the Syndacos own. So CJ wants to blow up the factory that produces the chips. This combat section is really good. The shotgun enemy gets introduced and he is OP. CJ blows up the plastic machines, goes back to the casino and gets a phone call from the True, who tells him to go pick up two British band members from the desert. One of these band members is Kent Paul, one of the main characters from GTA Vice City. Before getting here, Kent Paul signed a new band called the Gurning Chimps, and this other guy who is with him is the main vocalist of that band. Kent Paul mentions that one of his old friends, Rosie, aka Ken Rosenberg, the guy who worked alongside Tommy Vercetti in GTA Vice City, is in Las Venturas. After the events of GTA Vice City, Rosenberg got addicted to drugs, which led to Tommy Vercetti firing him. Rosenberg entered a rehabilitation center somewhere in San Andreas. He tried calling Tommy but got ignored. Rosenberg got involved with the Leones, the Syndacos and the Forellis, and is now managing their casino in Las Venturas. None of the mafias like Rosenberg, and that makes him very sad. One of the Syndacos is in a shock-induced coma, and nobody knows who is at fault. If something were to happen to that Syndaco, Rosenberg would be the one getting blamed for it. And well, that Syndaco is none other than Johnny Syndaco. Oops! CJ does not really care about Rosenberg. However, he wants to help. What needs to be done is to pick up Johnny Syndaco from the hospital and move him to a safer location. The problem is, someone has already picked him up, and that someone is some members of the Forelli family. They picked him up in an ambulance. There are 3 ambulances you need to search, and of course, he ends up being in the last one. God damn it.
Hey, Johnny, how you feeling? I didn't think he was gonna be discharged till tomorrow.
He's safe. For now. Rosenberg, on the other hand, still does not feel safe, and that leads to him taking drugs again. Rosenberg wants to pay Johnny Syndaco a visit to win him over with kind words. Things do not really go to plan. Johnny Syndaco sees CJ, has a heart attack, and fucking dies. The Syndacos are mad. CJ and Rosenberg work together to get rid of all the witnesses. This location feels like something out of GTA 3, and I love it. Rosenberg accidentally calls CJ Tommy, which is kind of funny and sad at the same time.
Tommy, it's like old times.
Let's go back to the GTA San Andreas introduction short film for one last time. There is a scene that happens during the events of the game, and it takes place after the mission we just played through. We see Rosenberg finally having a moment to relax, only to be interrupted by none other than Salvatore. Salvatore tells Rosenberg the only reason he is still alive is because he is waiting for one of the other families to make a move. He even points a gun at his head and says that if he does not get his $5 million back, something bad will happen to him. Rosenberg does the poo-poo in his pants pants, runs to the bathroom and calls CJ. We go to Caligula's casino to investigate, and we see these two idiots hanging upside down. Big boy Carl Johnson introduces himself and mentions he worked for Salvatore's son back in Liberty City. We know this is true because he stole a car for Joey, which is his son, in the introduction short film. Salvatore seems to like CJ and sends him on a mission to go get rid of some Forellis who are planning on coming to Las Venturas to assassinate him. Instead of just waiting for them at the airport, like a normal person would, we steal a plane from the airport, jump out of it mid-air, get into the plane and dispose of them. What? You are telling me CJ not only jumps out of a plane mid-flight, but also manages to fall on another plane, open its door from the outside, which is something that is physically impossible, and then get in? Salvatore is impressed and asks us to go hit St. Mark's Bistro in Liberty City. That's right, Liberty City. Salvatore asks if we need any backup. CJ uses this opportunity to get Rosenberg, Kent Paul and the other dumbasses out of the casino so they can leave Las Venturas and escape from Salvatore. Then, more plain painful experiences for the player. Get it? Plain painful? Alright. Here we are, Liberty City, covered in snow. Seeing this place in a different game will always give me nostalgia. You won't ever come back here, which makes it even more special. The main goal is to assassinate a guy named Marco Forelli. Fun fact, this is the brother of Sonny Forelli, who died at the hands of Tommy Vercetti in GTA Vice City, and the brother of Mike Forelli, who died at the hands of Claude in GTA 3. Returning to Las Venturas, it's time to continue planning the casino heist.
Anyone else coming?
Nah.
Do you have the layout to Caligula's casino?
Nah.
Meeting adjourned?
Meeting adjourned.
Okay, let's go get the casino blueprints. You need a camera to get a copy of those casino blueprints. Grab one from the tourists at the strip. Is this how they do it in America? Where I live, you can just go to a store to buy a camera, instead of wasting an innocent tourist, but maybe I'm just doing it wrong. The next move is to get into the Las Venturas city planning department and steal the blueprints. The blueprints are on the top floor, and the only way to photograph them is to cause a distraction for the guards. Instead of distracting them by pulling the fire alarm, we set the building on fire. CJ photographs the blueprints, the police shows up, and for some reason we are the ones blamed for what happened, even though nobody saw us starting the fire. CJ gets chased, escapes, and that is it. Here is the best line in the history of media.
Man, but you gotta see this.
Get ready to laugh at my stupidity. The objective is to find a way to steal a key card from a casino employee. For some reason, we decide it's best to steal the key card from a random girl, who has the pinkest car I have ever seen. Shooting her to get the key card is not an option. Wasting innocent people is not what GTA is known for. The key card has to be obtained in a much more wholesome way. And that way is love. And by love, I mean stalking and following the girl around the city while she does her usual business. She ends up stopping at a whoop-de-hoop shop, and for some unknown reason, CJ decides it's a good idea to follow her inside. Turns out she works here and has some weird fantasies with gimp suits. Where is this going? CJ has to kill the gimp and steal her heart by dressing up in a gimp suit. What? No idea if she is blind, but CJ looks nothing like the guy we just wasted. After a night of playing chess, we get checkmated and big boy Carl Johnson leaves the game wants the player to go on a couple of dates with the girl and win her trust to get the keycard. This is the part where I started losing my mind. From what I have seen online, it takes people around 2 dates, which take about 10 minutes in total, to win her trust and get the keycard. But maybe I'm just built different because it took me 14 dates and over 90 minutes of grinding to get her to like me. In the first date, I took her to a burger shot, where Killing in the Name of by Rage Against the Machine violently played in the background. She was not impressed. No problem. Let's do the exact same thing again. I'm sure it's going to work out perfectly this time.
I've had some terrible dates in my time. Goodbye.
Damn. I knew I had to impress her for the third date, so I went looking for a vehicle that fit her perfectly. Somehow that did not work either. Then something else came to mind. She must love hot dogs. So I picked her up in a hot dog car and even brought her to a new place. It surely must work now, right?
Carl, you have no idea how to treat a girl.
Girls love nice cars, so I picked her up in a nice car and brought her to a new place.
You are a romantic disaster.
Oh, come on. Alright. Fine. 6th date. New place again.
I've had some terrible dates in my time. Goodbye.
You have got to be kidding me. But then I remembered. Girls love motorcycles and bars. And well, apparently that is true, because after 6 dates, she finally went home happy.
Had a great time, CJ. I'll see you soon.
Dates 7 to 11 went the exact same way. Just to show how romantic I am, I even gave her flowers, which were picked up from the El Castillo del Diablo cemetery a few hours ago. Everything was going well, until date 12. She wanted to go for a drive, and we did. For some reason, she got bored after 5 seconds and the date was over. On the 13th date, oh, come on! The 14th date was the most interesting. She wanted to go to a bar and dance. And so, we did. This lasted forever. It felt like it would never end. And it made me laugh uncontrollably. There I was, on the 14th date in a video game, still trying to get a stupid video game card by dancing to the next episode by Dr. Dre. After 14 dates and a lot of physical and mental exhaustion, we finally get this stupid blue keycard and the nightmare is over. Except it's not. After many dates, CJ got fat, and the NPCs on the street started making fun of him, so I had to make him hit the gym for like 20 minutes to lose weight. Next up, to be able to rob the casino without being seen, CJ comes up with the idea of planting remotely detonated explosives on the main generators that give power to all of Las Venturas. The generators are located near a dam. You cannot tell me the only way to get to the damn place is by stealing a plane, jumping out of it, letting it crash, causing a big explosion, and then parachuting onto the dam. That is not very sneaky. Quick fun fact, if you land in the water, you lose all of your weapons, and the only way to complete the mission is to grab a knife and slowly try killing the guards in a stealthy way. But if you manage to parachute onto the ground, you get to keep your weapons and can go through this without any stealth. CJ plants the explosives and makes an escape by jumping off the dam and somehow surviving without taking any damage. Video game water is way too overpowered. Oh nice, the part where you need to steal 4 police bikes in 12 minutes. I love timed missions. Said nobody ever. This cop is doing a sobriety test on a drunk guy. These 2 cops are seen chatting to each other. This one is trying to catch bikers. Honestly, good attention to detail. Glad to see the developers did not take any shortcuts, even though we are already like 80% to the campaign.
Now we just gotta get an armored van and respray it with the Caligula's casino logo.
Get to the chopper, steal the van using the magnet, and bring it to the abandoned airport in the desert. An extremely boring mission, but there's not much to complain about. The heist is completely optional. There are still a couple of things we need to take care of before starting the heist, like the big D on the map. Wait, the D stands for dog, and dog stands for Mad Dog. Remember when we stole his rhyme book and completely ruined his life? Yeah, he is back and wants to jump off a building. To make it even worse, Jeffrey, aka OG Loke, can be heard chatting with Big Smoke on the radio.
Me and my man Smoke, we took over. I've been gangbanging since I was 3. Ice cold killer.
Thankfully, the player has a chance to make things right. We managed to catch Mad Dog, take him to the hospital, and even offer to be his new manager once he recovers. Then it was time to visit Tempany again. Some DEA and FBI agents have gathered evidence on him and are planning a meeting to expose everything. Once again, Tempany sends us to go get rid of them. Afterward, Tempany tells CJ to deliver the evidence to El Castillo del Diablo just so NoClick can piss his pants again. Officer Hernandez turns out to have betrayed Tempany and Pulaski by reporting the murder of Officer Pendlebury to Internal Affairs. Tempany found out what Hernandez was trying to do. He smacks him over the head with a shovel and then makes CJ dig a grave.
You take care of things.
Huh? Where are you going?
To get drunk and get laid. You got a problem with that?
For a moment, the game tricks us into thinking that Hernandez might have a fighting chance, but nope, he gets shot in the heart and falls into the grave. That buys CJ enough time to fight back, which makes Pulaski run away. CJ chases after him, and after a long chase and a very difficult fight, he finally takes him out. This moment is the beginning of Tempany's downfall, and none of it would have been possible without Officer Hernandez. Rest in peace to an absolute Chad. And so, our time in Las Venturas is slowly coming to an end. Mad Dog shows up to our casino, informing everyone that he is clean and ready to return to his mansion in Los Santos. But there's a small problem. His mansion has been seized by the Vagos. The big boy Carl Johnson is not too happy to hear that, which leads to everyone flying to Los Santos to get the mansion back and use it to restart Mad Dog's rap career with CJ as his new manager. Instead of trying to take back the mansion the normal way, we parachute onto its roof, take out a bunch of Vagos, and enter the building.
We're heavily outnumbered, but if we all keep our heads, we should kick ass.
God damn it. The goal is clear. Take out the Vagos and then get rid of the Vago leader, Big Papa. He tries running away, but let's be honest, nobody can escape Carl Johnson. They get the mansion back and everyone is happy. CJ invites the Rosenberg gang to come help Mad Dog produce his next album. But before leaving Las Venturas, there's one more thing that needs to be done. The big heist. Our guys get in the armored van we stole and it's up to CJ to get into the casino, use the keycard to get through security, put the guards to sleep, shut down the power, and then use a forklift to open the door for the truck to come in. Security shows up, but they suck. We get some satchel charges, blow up the generators, and open the door to the vault. We steal the money, and as expected, mafia members show up and try stopping us, but they suck too. Here is an extremely fun fact. The janitor who accidentally saw all the heist plans in the cutscenes is part of the heist. He did not even bother changing his clothes. CJ acts as a decoy while the Triads try getting away. The lights unexpectedly turn on and it turns out that Berkeley, Zero's worst enemy, somehow turned them back on, which makes the situation a bit scary, but not too scary for our big boy Carl Johnson, who just gets on the top of the roof, finds a parachute, parachutes next to a police helicopter, and then gets away.
Zero, where you hide?
I didn't mean to tell Berkeley. It just kinda came out, is all.
Salvatore finds out what we did and is very mad. CJ does not care. Lamao! Let's talk about some of the side activities you can do in Las Venturas. First up, the impossible helicopter races. No idea who designed them, but they are like 10 times harder than Zero's missions. Why is nobody complaining about these? Besides that, there's car racing, motorcycle racing, more car racing, and you guessed it, even more motorcycle racing. Out of all of these side quests, my favorite one is probably gambling. Gardening. Quick fun fact, the player can borrow money from the casino, and if they do not pay it back in time, the mafia will come after them. Here are even more fun facts. There is a day of the week system. Beach parties only happen on weekends, and the types and amounts of NPCs you see walking on the street change based on what day it is. Okay, Los Santos. The outfit does not fit the current situation. Let's fix it. And voila, OG CJ is back in town.
Hey, what happened? Hey, where the sounds at?
I don't know, bruv. It all just went.
Finally, I thought I'd never get through to you.
What the
What's
Torino!
this?
Is that you? Torino?
Listen, you gotta pull one last string.
Hold up,
for me,
mate. Look,
okay?
hold up 1 second.
Communist at the gate, Carl.
I'm tired of this, Torino.
I'm outside.
Would you like to see your brother this week?
Yeah, what can I do?
You just gotta steal a military jet off an amphibious assault ship and use it to destroy a flotilla of spy ships. Nothing big. All the gear you'll need is on board. I'll keep you briefed as you go.
Torino is back and wants us to become John Wick. Sweet better be happy when he gets out of prison. You can be sneaky and swim underwater, or you can just drive the boat right in, which alerts the guards and starts the alarm. One of my greatest regrets in life is not doing this mission in the stealthy way. Not because it's difficult or anything, but because of the sound of the alarm. Please make it stop. Military jets show up and they are not too happy about the situation. That leads to a big aerial shootout. But it's only fun if you know how to control the jet, because otherwise, holy crap, man.
You see? Child's play.
Shut up, Torino!
Hello, boss man.
You know what?
Ah, will you stop? This is pathetic. Come on, you're embarrassing yourself. Come on, put it down. Don't be ridiculous, okay? Hey, I got a little surprise for you here. You ready for this? Huh? Answer it.
Hello?
Carl, Sweet.
Oh, sweet.
I don't know what happened. They just released me.
Sweet has finally been released from prison, and it's all thanks to Torino. Speaking of Torino, this is the last time we see him. I will miss you, Senpai Torino. I mean, what? After spending over 20 hours of gameplay working on getting Sweet out of prison, instead of thanking us, he is still not happy.
Hey, man, we off to our new spot. We got a mansion, Sweet. We got a stake in the casino. We got some insane shit in Fierro. We get into the rap game. Hey, man, let me get you some new clothes. Come on.
New clothes? You never did get it, did you, Carl? I need to go check on things in the hood. Man, that's the problem. You always a perpetrator, running from what's real.
You don't want to be in the hood?
No, that's exactly where I want to be. What you done for our hood?
Here's what CJ did for the hood. He got rid of a bunch of balas, stole weapons from an old guy's house, stole weapons from a train, stole weapons from the military, protected Grove Street from a balas attack, recaptured multiple territories, wasted a balas leader, wasted another balas leader at a funeral, saved Sweet from being arrested, saved Sweet's life after the idiot fell into a balas trap, got arrested and dragged to the middle of nowhere because of Sweet's mistakes, wasted Jizzy, wasted T-Bone Mendez, wasted Ryder, destroyed the big drug factory, buying an abandoned airport, learning how to fly a plane, delivering secret government packages, wasting government agents, getting on their plane, destroying it, and even stealing a military jet. I think the better question to ask is, what has Sweet ever done for the hood? When CJ came back to Los Santos, Grove Street was almost extinct due to how bad Sweet's leadership was. Their mother died when Sweet was in charge.
That's everybody's dream to get out the hood.
Man, you sound just like Smoke right now.
What?
Hey, y'all what about his blender?
That's Miles' blender.
That random guy steals his mother's blender, and instead of running after him, Sweet looks at him with an angry face and then just does nothing. What? Sweet then gets mad and wants us to recapture some territory, while he does nothing.
Alright, man, let's get out of here and go see Kendall.
Kendall can come see me right here at her home.
Getting Sweet out of prison was not a good idea.
Come on, Sweet, come on. Make sure you enjoy this. It takes the pain away.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, what the hell you doing?
One cutscene ago, Sweet said we are exactly like Big Smoke for wanting to get out of the hood and start a better life. And now he is out here trying to smoke crack just to see what's good about it. What? B-Dub, a guy we met in the beginning of the game, is also working for Big Smoke and must be dealt with. CJ and Sweet confront B-Dub and Big Bear shows up. Who the hell is Big Bear? It's just one guy who showed up once. Who punches B-Dub in the face and finally breaks free, claiming he wants to rejoin Grove Street and put it back on the map. Okay?
You always did real good leaving jobs half finished.
If it weren't for CJ, you would have been dead over 85 missions ago.
The world's bigger than this hood.
This is where our lives begin and where it's probably gonna end.
Oh, why? Come on, come on, come on. Oh, god damn it. Oh, sorry, I did not see you there. Mad Dog is not happy about how famous OG Loke has gotten and realizes he was the person who stole his rhyme book. Now, I wonder how he got that rhyme book in the first place. Anyway, we decide to go confront him and he starts running away, which leads to an extremely random vortex chase, followed by an extremely random card chase. We catch Jeffrey and Mad Dog gets his rhyme book back. Let me deliver on the promise I made some time ago and finally talk about the vortex. Even though its controls are complete ass, the amount of fun stuff you can do with it is insane. One of my favorite things to do is to steal one from here, go to Mount Chiliad, spend 10 minutes trying to get it to the top, jump off and then see how far I can fly before touching the ground. We found out Tempany has been charged with a bunch of crimes and is awaiting trial. The gang sits around watching TV, hoping to finally see him go to prison. However, all the charges get dropped. The people of Los Santos are not very happy about that decision, which starts a very big riot. The riots are based on the real-life 1992 Los Angeles riots, which were probably even worse than what is shown right here. Everything is on fire, people are stealing TVs, and wait a minute, is that a reference to the Half-Life 2 beta? Free TVs? CJ is the reason Tempany got away with everything. Yes, he was forced by Tempany to do all of the bad things for him, but it does not matter. The charges were dropped because of us.
Hey man, I know, man. I went through a lot of shit for this family since you've been gone, so I know.
What? For yourself, not for the family.
Oh, shut up. Caesar shows up and asks for help. His hood has been taken over by some vagos and he needs help to recapture it. Yes, Caesar senpai, I will gladly help you. CJ meets up with the Aztecas, Caesar's friends, and starts wasting every single vago in sight. One of the Aztecas gets a rocket launcher and starts going crazy. Hazer, one of the Azteca members, gets hit and our objective is to protect him while the vagos try attacking us from multiple directions at the same time. More vagos show up and now they have flamethrowers and rocket launchers. It feels like the world is ending in front of our eyes. Very fun mission to play through. We recapture the hood and that is pretty much it. Sweet calls us and he wants CJ to capture more territories to finally unlock the final mission. Yay! Thank you, Sweet. I really wanted to do the exact same thing 20 different times. And you guessed it, Sweet did not even bother to show up because why would he? After some excruciating pain, it's time to finally end this. Sweet mentions he found Big Smoke's hiding location. But before that, there is something that needs to be taken care of. Hello, Denise. Glad to see you. We get to Big Smoke's place and apparently it's guarded by some ballas. Wow, what a shocker. And we need to take them down. And by we, I mean CJ. Sweet is not coming with us. He is just gonna wait in the car. What a buster. The building has 4 floors. Big Smoke is on the last one. The first couple of floors are not that interesting. The most interesting one is the third one. We see ballas working together with the vagos, the rifas, and even the Italians. The Big Smoke statue shows just how power hungry Big Smoke has become. What kind of man makes a statue of himself? I would.
Hey, Smoke!
Hey, CJ, I was wondering when you would show up.
Yeah, Smoke lost himself. He seems to have completely given up on life. Smoke gets angry and gets into a gunfight with CJ, which does not end very well for Smoke.
I got caught up in the money, the power. I just see the opportunity of when I'm gone, everyone gonna remember my name. Big Smoke!
Before getting any time to react to what just happened, Tempany shows up. Tempany starts a fire and now the objective is to try escaping the building before everything blows up. On the way down, we take out more ballas and vagos and even put out some fires. Escaping the building is difficult. So difficult in fact that I did it with 1 HP left. Tempany gets into a fire truck and for some godforsaken reason, Sweet decides it's a good idea to hang on to the back of the fire truck while the fire truck is moving. Hey, at least Sweet did something. Even though it's stupid, at least he tried. Character development right there. That leads to a big chase through the city. The entire city is on fire, and the vagos try stopping us by throwing molotovs at our car. A police officer that was in Tempany's fire truck tries to make Sweet lose his grip. Unfortunately, we catch him and save his life again, and then he proceeds to drive while CJ tries taking out police cars, ballas cars, and vagos on motorcycles who are trying to save Tempany. After a long chase, Tempany's fire truck loses control and falls right into Grove Street.
I'll take you all! You're mine! Mine! I'll run this town!
Don't do it, man. He's gone. Let's roll.
I mean, far out, man. You know, I mean, you beat the system. I tried for 30 years to cross over, but you managed it, man. I mean, man, you're an icon, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
I'm just glad it's finally over.
See you around, officer.
What an ending! Big Smoke is gone, Tempany is gone, Grove Street is finally back on the map, Kendall is about to get married to Caesar, and the Rosenberg gang show up and announce that Mad Dog's new album is a gold record. Everything we did up until this point is finally paying off. The ending does not even feel like an ending. It feels like an opening cutscene to something much bigger. Even though I would have loved to see a GTA San Andreas 2, I feel like this is the perfect way to end the 3D universe. But yeah, that is it. I really hope you enjoyed. It took me a very long time to make this video. If you watched all of it, thank you. Let me know what you would like to see next. I will see you in the next one.